And that's why if you look really close, a lot of men will usually have one drop of pee on the front of their pants. Welcome to the podcast, everyone. Welcome to our podcast. What is this? It's a podcast where a couple who likes each other very much is talking about your relationships. And you can send us questions through the Instagram welcome _to_ hour. Might turn that camera so I'm in it. Podcast. Look us up on Instagram and we'll be there. What was that? What'd you do?
To refocus you.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can't tell if it worked. And I love you so much and thank you for being here. Zoe.
You said push it halfway down, right?
Yeah, but only if you want to. You know what I mean?
You're definitely in focus now.
And that's all we need.
Welcome to our podcast. Welcome to
I like when you started.
Podcast.
When you started, it's way less frantic. When I started, it's like, are we starting? Is everything all right?
As you all know.
Am I okay? What's happening? What day is it?
As you all know, MikeFalzone.com. You can find anything you need for his shows there. Friday night was so much fun with the Surrounded show that happened. He's got a lot of different shows coming up. In December, he will be in Seattle. Seattle.
Yes.
Which we do have to buy those flights like today.
Okay. Today meaning next week or today meaning the day?
Today meaning the day.
November 29th, I'll be back at the Hollywood Improv. And she's right. December 16th, 17th, and 18th, I'll be in Seattle, Washington at the Rendezvous. So you can buy tickets for that if you like. Always stuff in LA coming in between. So check my Instagram and mostly my stories. There is oh, never mind. You missed that. So, yeah, dude. Also, where else in the country do you want me to go? We got to get out of LA for a little bit. Where else in the country do you think you could bring at least 70 friends out? Let me know in the comments below.
70 friends.
Zoe, we got so many good questions, and they were curated so beautifully by Lex, the person who runs our Instagram. Oh, by the way, I'm famous enough that a person is trying to scam people into thinking that I am managed by them. My Mike Falzone account, there's somebody named, I don't remember what their name is.
Isn't it like
but they're like a
Amber or
D.
something?
It's a name like that.
Yeah.
Something Aretha, A-line Aretha or something like that. And it looks like a computer generated female face. Like females have this nose, females have this eyes. I'm Mike Falzone, manager. And I don't fucking know
manager,
that person.
Mike De Falzone.
But Lex does manage the WTOP Instagram, and that's where you could submit questions. She does a great job of getting those questions to us. 2 of them will be answered on this podcast, and here's one of them now. Zoya,
Okay.
are you ready?
Let's do this.
I'm talking to someone working through trauma / isn't ready to date yet. How can I best show that I'm willing to wait / no rush? Why so many slashes in one question? What are you, Freddy Krueger?
Do better.
Slasher film.
I think that you're setting yourself up for failure.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And why is that?
If that person's not ready to date you now, even after they work through their trauma, they may not be ready to date you even then.
Yeah, and you're not going to want to be, if you're like letting someone know that you're first in line when they're not nervous anymore, that is still a pressure.
Yeah.
To put on somebody.
Right. And that's why it probably won't end up working out.
Dude, I remember I dated this girl in college, and she was like, she didn't want to be my girlfriend because she was talking to at least one other person. And for months, I was like, I'll be here in case you decide that that person isn't the person you want to be with. Mm-hmm. And in my simple brain, I was like, I'm in the running, first of all, which was no, first of all. And second of all, when things don't work out with this one other person, I'm first in line.
Yeah.
And I wasted months where a bunch of other things could have happened.
Right.
But I was, it's like I fooled myself into thinking. The problem was, I'm sure they liked me as a person.
Sure.
And I'm sure they enjoyed spending time with me. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure the D game was good. But if they want to be with you, they'll be with you.
Right.
And sometimes you're not privy to all the reasons.
Right.
You know what I mean? If somebody's like, I'm not ready yet, then you got to give them like full space to do whatever they got to do within themselves.
Yeah.
And full space isn't, and I'll be right here when you're ready.
Right.
That's like every song that's like, and I'll be right here waiting is a bad song. That's not a good song.
I'll be there for you.
Well, being there for you is nice.
Yeah.
I'll be waiting.
I'll be. I'm sorry.
Are you
I was
making
trying to think of
fake songs, or are you thinking of real
That's a real
songs?
song.
Zoe?
I think that you should not. I think that you should also be exploring your options also. Because let's say that person does want to date you, and you showing them that moving on from them could potentially be like, oh, wait, I actually want to be with this person. And I don't think you should sell yourself short by not dating other people in the interim. Because what if this person isn't what you are actually wanting? What if this person is you wanting to fix somebody? Mm. And just so you all know, you trying to fix somebody, it's never going to work.
Yeah. And wanting someone who's not ready for a relationship is also...
it's like there's a lot of in between, like, sure, maybe this person's saying, when I am ready to date, I will date you. But they don't know that until they're ready.
Yeah. And how do you know that making things right with themselves, how do you know they're going to want the same thing after they're done working through their shit?
Right.
Right. When I read this, I was like, if somebody is going through like a trauma, you're going to want to let them have all the space in the world to like figure it out. Mm-hmm. Trauma is heavy. Mm-hmm. You can't have anything lurking over you. That's what gives anxiety. Mm-hmm. It's like there's always something that you got to do, like the laundry or the garbage is piling up, or I got to paint the house or whatever. There's always like the to-do list is piling up. If you're the trauma person and you're like, and I got this fucking person on the hook right now. Mm-hmm. I think the best thing you could do for someone in trauma is be like, you talk to me when you want to talk to me. And there's no expectations. Mm-hmm. There's not like, and when you are ready to talk to me, then we'll figure out when we're in a committed relationship.
Right.
Because that's just extra. That's extra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
I think we did that one to death.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Next one. I am, which is male. Oh. Me. I wrote this. Uh-huh. No. It says, I, male, have a hard time knowing if I'm in love. I don't know how to identify feelings. How do you know? End of question.
Ow. I don't even know.
I don't know how to tell someone how to identify feelings. That feels like something that's out of the range of the things that I know.
Do you not have...
Because you could say, do you wake up thinking about this person that you Do you go to sleep thinking about this person? Do you get sad when you're not around them? But that could be infatuation and not love. And how do I know the difference? I'm just sitting at this wooden table with you. Do you see it?
Yeah.
I don't know how to tell you how to know if you're in love. Final answer.
Yeah. Like, how do you tell somebody, like, people love differently, right? Like, there's so many different ways to love someone.
Yes.
And, you know, for a lot of people, I think there's like a certain joy that comes, this overwhelming joy of when you do think of that person, right? Or
swallowing noise.
Yeah, you just get happy to be around them, and they're like the only person that you want to be around. Like, that's one way of loving someone, right?
Those are characteristics of love, but that's also characteristics of like infatuation.
Sure. But I feel like with infatuation, there's also like a violence that also goes with that.
Dude, not always.
No,
Dude,
not always.
Do you want what's best for that person even if it doesn't involve you?
Yeah.
Is that something?
I guess, yeah. Like, there's no, like, do you feel happy in your everyday? If you can't figure out, if you can't identify love, how do you feel about yourself?
Do you know when you're hungry?
Right. Like, do you love yourself? Do you feel confident in the person that you are and enjoy being around yourself?
Yeah. I don't know how to help you.
I don't know.
Figure out if you're
that's
feeling
such a hard question.
Yeah. That one's not for us, maybe.
Who do I know who's a therapist?
Let's just go through our phones real fast.
Yeah.
What happened there?
I mean, there's hair or something that I can't fucking see.
How do you not know until the second show if there's hair?
My face was not touching it.
Zoe, I want to take a break and do a personal experience.
Okay.
A week ago, I had a show at Agua Caliente Casino, Resort and Casino in Palm Springs.
Yes.
And I brought my friend Willie Simon, very funny comedian, to open. And he did a great job. Yeah. And I think we had a fun time at the casino.
Yes, we did.
We played blackjack a lot, and it was very fun.
I won money.
Yes.
Yes.
I did too.
Yes.
But
you lost it.
It went away.
Yes.
Didn't it? The next morning, we stayed over there, and I left my keys in the hotel room.
Yes.
Here's my question to you. Why did I do that?
Well, when we got into the hotel room, I don't know why you always...
This sounds like a gripe that you have with me that I wasn't previously aware of.
I don't have a gripe.
It's how it's
There's
getting
no
teed
gripes.
up.
No gripes. I'm just saying, like, you have this thing where you have to have your keys on you at all times. Like, you have to have your keys.
Yeah.
No matter if I'm driving and I have my keys, which also have your car keys on them, on them. You have to have your keys on you.
Say what you're going to say, Zoe. Don't hold back now.
So when we left the house that morning, I drove my car.
Yeah.
And you had your keys in your pocket.
Yeah.
And when you got to the hotel, you threw these said keys on the bed.
Yes. Complicated bedspread. Keys disappear.
I got into bed, and I believe when I was getting in under the covers, I believe I kicked off keys off said bed.
It's your fault.
But you didn't make sure that you had your keys when you always make sure you have your keys.
Which is why I have my keys in the first place.
I'm going to blame this on you.
Which is fine. And this is important relationship advice. Always find someone to blame. End of sentence.
I did make a mental note to like grab them, and I kept checking, and I kept feeling like we were forgetting something, and I couldn't remember what it was that we were forgetting.
It was keys.
Yeah, it was keys.
Dude, I forget a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And it's because I have a very I have a lot of stuff going on in my brain at all times, and it's too much. So there is a thing where I try to at least, are you expecting something?
You're probiotics because you're dumping out.
Okay, well,
Wow.
and welcome to our podcast, aren't we?
And welcome to our personal interrelation.
Thank you, Zoja.
Shit. It's not on.
Thank you, Zoja, I said. And that is true. It's a life update. But I always make sure that I have, like, I think a lot of people do this. It's, testicles, spectacles, wallet, and watch, which is Austin Powers for, I have my keys, I have my phone, and I have my Wolier.
Yeah.
And not having one of those three things on my person makes me uncomfortable because I'm like, I'm missing an important thing.
Right.
Dude, I can't tell you how many times I lost my debit card in my 20s.
Yeah.
Or, I lost. Sometimes you think you lose stuff and it's stolen, and sometimes it's the other way around. But I remember I lost, I don't know why this sticks in my head so much, but I had this dope pair of Adidas in middle school. I was in 8th grade. And I think they got stealed, but I lost them. I lost track of them. And it was one of the first times spending my own money to get a pair of shoes, and I loved them so much, and they were so comfortable, and I wore them every day. I put them in my locker, probably didn't lock the locker, and then they were gone. Or I was getting changed, left them on the bench, and then they were gone. Don't remember what the case was. But I remember feeling, when I lose something, I feel so dumb. And feeling dumb is my least favorite thing to feel.
Right.
When other people make me feel dumb, or when other people think they're getting one over on me, there's nothing that makes me want to cut you out of my life completely more than you being condescending to me because you think I'm dumb. Or I have destroyed, annihilated friendships because of that. And losing stuff makes me feel that like I'm doing that to myself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then the other thing I hate more than anything is wasting time. So then we got to get in a car and go back to Palm Springs to just get my keys and come back, not even play blackjack with retired gays. Literally just coming back, and then asking for my keys at the front desk. And him and then him being like, we could have sent these to you. We send these kind of things out.
Why the fuck didn't they say that though when we were on the phone?
That's
Because
a
I
bad
would have
telephone
opted for
conversation.
that more so than anything else, because we could have made this work.
Well, you didn't ask.
Yeah, but like that's also not. It didn't matter.
Every miscommunication is a two-way.
Yes.
Maybe not every. Maybe that's too broad of a stroke, but a lot, 99% of miscommunications come with a crossed wire at both sides.
Sure.
There's something you could have done. I could have looked on the couch to see if there were glasses there. You could have not left your glasses on the couch. And that's two separate.
That's tit for tat.
We don't talk about tits on this show.
No, we don't.
Here's another question.
Hang on.
Oh.
It didn't really matter that we had to drive back there, right? Like that wasn't even like a big deal. Fine. It's 2 hours, whatever, from us.
We had a show. I had a show an hour.
Right. So we were halfway there anyway.
Yeah.
So it made sense for us to go that night instead of driving an hour back home and then driving 2 hours and then 2 hours back.
Yeah.
Although I was getting very tired. And when I'm tired and driving, I start to do this thing where I tap my face so I can stay up.
Does that work?
It works.
Because you're tapping very gently.
Yeah. Well,
I have
don't need
fully
to. I'm not going to like
slapped.
fucking slap the shit out of myself.
I've done that. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And if you do too hard, you can knock
But
yourself out.
you're just like tapping, so you're not like, you just keep doing it all over.
Did you hear that somewhere?
No, I just started doing it.
And it works.
Yeah. It keeps me awake enough to be able to like, but everyone else had fallen asleep in the car.
Yeah.
And I was just like, can't open up the window. Can't do anything else.
Yeah.
Can't blast the radio.
See, and then I go to like, I put people in that position, and that's a bummer.
It's fine, but we've all done dumb shit. Like, it doesn't matter.
Now you're calling me dumb.
Well,
relationship
okay.
over.
You wish.
No, I don't. Never ever.
Yeah, well, you know, did you know that we have golden tier sponsors?
No, I didn't know that at all.
We do.
Do you want to talk about it?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
As you know, patreon.com is a virtual tipping and rewards website where you give us a little bit of your hard-earned cash, and sometimes you get to promote something, okay? As you all know, you might be wondering how we got here. It is a Dungeons and Dragons podcast.
D&D.
But they also have something new to promote.
What the fuck?
Yeah. This week, we'd like to promote the newest comedy project, the podcast.
There's so many. I'm telling you right now, the word podcast is said so many times in this app.
Every week, podcasters O'Neill, Olivia, and Tyler will pitch each other innovative, lucrative, and absolutely bonkers podcast ideas.
It's like Shark Tank for podcasts.
Yes. And then they set out to create them. They're the masterminds behind such podcasts as Count Chocula, the podcast, a dive into the cereal mascot world, hosted by Count Chocula and DJ Frankenberries.
Was he a DJ?
With special guest, the Quaker Oats Man. Mondays, we will release full episodes, and Fridays are Friday feed drops, featuring solo episodes of the winning podcast pitch for those who don't care to see how the sausage gets made. It's a workshop sketch and variety show. You can listen every week wherever you get your podcasts or on our website .biz. Sorry.
.boys?
Yeah, I was going to say boys. And feel free to reach out at email at website.biz. You're aware on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and at Triple PCast.
Done?
That's it.
Okay, nice. Good luck with the PCast.
Triple PCast.
Good luck with the triple PCast.
Yeah.
It's a very, I like the premise of that podcast a lot. Mm-hmm. I also want to hear what the Quaker Oats guy is like in a unedited interview scenario.
It's funny. I have a Spotify link in the description below.
So we can all check it out together.
Yeah.
Number, it doesn't matter.
Well,
I
thought we were gonna save those for next week.
I mean, we can. Did we do anything productive this episode? Is what I'm kind of trying to figure out, because we told one person that we're not qualified to answer their question.
I mean, that's fair.
Of course it is.
These are questions that
productive?
we try to. It doesn't matter if it's productive or not. The productive part of that. Not that it doesn't matter.
Do you have anything you want to ask me? That, I think that's one of those, like, that's the worst thing you could ask somebody on a podcast. If you run out of things to talk about, it's like, why don't you just interview me? We do that every episode.
No, I think that, you know what, like going back 2 weeks ago, right, when about the glasses and whatever, I was very much so in the wrong also. I flew off the handle.
Interesting. This is interesting because this is all first time information.
No, that's not true. I apologize for flying off the handle. I did apologize for that.
You said, this is very interesting. Fuck. I'm going to get myself into trouble, and it's going to happen.
We're done.
On a podcast.
It's over.
Okay, thank you. We hit record and we're out.
Yeah.
What you say is, like, you give an out, you give like a caveat. You say, I usually say something like, this is too much for this situation. Mm-hmm. Is there something else wrong, and the glasses thing is just being a thing for the
right,
like a cover for what is seriously wrong, which is a good question to ask, because a lot of times people just want to be like, ask me what's really wrong because I don't give a fuck about glasses. Mm-hmm. And I said that, and you say stuff like, maybe it's the end of the weekend, and maybe I'm tired, and maybe I'm cranky.
I was tired, and I was cranky.
For sure. And I'm not saying that doesn't exist, but that caveat is different than I flew off the handles about the glasses thing.
It's what ended up... So, hang on a second. Let's back up here.
I'm hung.
So
because I said what I had to say. I'm done saying stuff.
So we ended up... You sat on the glasses. That annoyed me, and I made that clear.
For sure.
Okay? It was after you kept poking, you know, because you thought that I was still, like, upset with you about it, or that I was, like, so upset. And it just kept going and going. And I kept telling you I don't care about the fucking glasses. Like, big fucking deal.
Yeah.
You know? But then it was once I threw them. That's what I'm sorry about. Like, I threw them up against the wall.
Yeah.
And then they, like, shattered. Which I was very annoyed about. More so because they could have probably been salvaged.
Could have bent them back, for sure.
Yeah.
You can't unthrow glasses.
No, but I was exhausted. Like, we had spent Saturday... 7 hours in the car that day?
This is why this is what I'm saying, dude.
And then there was also, but that wasn't your fault. Like, I don't know. I don't think that's an accident. That's a mistake.
Yeah.
Like, shit happens. Shit's gonna happen like that. Shit like that doesn't annoy me. I think too, I had gotten a phone call that annoyed me, and I think that kind of put me in a mood. So I was like ready to fight no matter what.
Homie, you know what's interesting? And this is the part that sucks about being in a relationship. Whenever there's a fight, I want to get it over as soon as possible. I want to get to whatever the real thing is as soon as possible so that the real thing is taken care of. Mm-hmm. Because some of the times, the thing that's being fought about is like fodder for what's up. Mm-hmm. Me coming at you and poking the bear. Mm-hmm. Poking the bear is something an irresponsible person does with a stick.
Yes.
What I'm doing is saying your reaction to the thing is off.
Yeah.
What's up?
But all I had said to you was that I was a little bit annoyed, and then you got up and you walked away from the situation.
For sure. You think I don't know what to do when you're annoyed? Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Also, when you say, homie, please don't get mad at me.
Okay.
Promise me. Pinky promise. When you shake hands, it's all the pinkies at once.
Okay.
When you're like, it's fine. I don't care about the glasses.
Yeah.
It's fine. Guess what I think is a not dumb person?
Yeah. It's not fine.
It's not fine.
Yeah, but like in that moment, like if I'm telling you that something is fine, it's typically me needing 5 minutes to assess the situation as to why I'm mad.
Homie, say that.
Why am I mad? But you know how I work, though.
Yeah. But that's why I ask you. Yeah. Because we know each other so well. You know me better than I know me. Yeah. I know you very well.
Yeah.
We don't lie to each other.
No.
So if there's something up and you're saying, it's fine, I don't care about the glasses. Right. I know you're lying to me. And then every sensor in my brain is like, why are you lying to me?
I didn't really give a shit about the glasses, to say that. I'm
For sure, but say it different.
Yeah.
If the real shit is I need 5 minutes alone, then I'll do what I was doing, which is leaving you alone. But if I know that something is wrong and you're telling me something is not wrong, I'm gonna ask you.
Well, the thing too about it was you were about to leave the house. So Mike and I never leave the house angry. Mm-hmm. And we don't ever, and even if we are angry, we still at least say goodbye.
Yes.
Or I'm leaving or something.
I'm going to lose points for this part.
And Mike literally walked out of the door. And that's what sent me. That was pre me throwing the glasses.
Mike walking out of the door absolutely sent me.
Yeah. That's what sent me into like irrational. Like, I was like, are you really going to leave the house without saying goodbye?
Yeah. Can I tell you something else? Leaving the house without saying goodbye in our situation is also irrational. Do you know what sent me to do that? You lying to me about things being good. So I'm like, what's the point of being here if you're gonna lie to my face about things being good?
Yeah.
I know you want to be alone, so I'm out.
Yeah, but
You're not wrong
Yeah.
in being upset with me for leaving the house without saying goodbye
Right.
or I love you.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah.
You know what else I hate?
And it was resolved shortly
that's
after
why,
that.
like,
You know,
the questions are good, and
Yeah.
sometimes we're not going to know what to do with your
Right.
questions because you're a hairdresser and I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
Not doctors.
Yeah.
And there should be a little disclaimer at
Yeah.
the beginning of every show that says that. But when we get into our shit, I think that could be helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like to talk about my shit though in public. So
yeah, you got a
yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
We never have to talk about all of our shit because that's nobody's business.
Right.
But sometimes I do think that, like, you know how that argument at the end of the day really didn't mean too much, but there's lessons in there on how to be a good partner.
Right.
And I think that people can get something from that once we're done with it.
Mm-hmm. Also, Jamie is pissed off that we are podcasting right now.
Sorry, dog,
and
we're
she
done.
says,
Does she have a question? What the fuck is wrong with
say
you?
that Jamie said that this is lame and I need my one-on-one time.
All right.
Hit it with a mop.
Hit it. Hit it.
Yeah.
Hit it.
You guys, as you know, patreon.com is a virtual tipping and rewards website, and our $10 group gets a shout out. Cole Rusty, Joseph Capricio, so I'll never know. Anyway, Shannon Haynes, DLD, Patrick Simpson, Ernesto, Raja, Eliseus, Joe Tarzan, Louis and Odette, Lauren Chauncey, Paul Gilliam, Steve Diergo, Chris McCarthy, nope, Trevor the Werefishy. Sorry, I read ahead. Okay.
Very good note, Zoe.
Thank you.
Very good note.
Thank you.
One more time. Don't look at me like that, Doc.
Joe Penn, Happy Birthday Starlight, JJ McToots, Rachel last name.
Very good.
Rachel last name. Rachel last name. Mike Genie, Alan Garcia, Connie Tryon, Isabella Sparkles, and Taro Baez. Frankie Matos Music. In our short years, we come long way. Chris Fernandez, Johnny Rizito, Handcrafted Neckwear, CCPB&J, Ad Mammed. Zoya, you're doing great. Caleb Perkins, Giant Tom Hanks, Lizzie Love, Gavin Welsh, Someone Tell Aaron, Jackie Hammond, Paige Junesen, the guy with long hair, Chris Johnson. Happy birthday. Happy birthday month, Mike. Last month. Anna Valles. Benjamin Putz. Meth Mush. Does it say booby?
I don't know what it said.
Yeah. Snuggle Pig H. Ryan Ashbrook. Christina Camille. Josh Jinston. Michael Johnson, Kayla Johnston, Grant Levisier, Chad Clark, Joe Finney, Heather Ashley, What Is Cat, Katie Taylor, Shane Welsh, Evan Canoe, Joe Band, Milky Beans, Jess Enright, Lillian Carrillo, Magnus Silva, Barrington Lloyd Lovett, Boo Fuchs, Theodorus Karen Bellis, Janisha Tutton, Danny Sinclair, Jacob D. Bradford, Justine Beebestein, Just Josh, Sergeant Sparty, Ed Birch, Helen Ford, Luminos, Superfloss, Tatiana Clay, Danielle D. Verona, Sean Stone, Valerie York, Dev, Jesse Stillwell, Kitty Lee G, Rob Devereux, Don Bjort, Nestor De Leon III, Luis Hernandez, Alexander Legowski, Monique Quistorf, Jamie Garner, Troy R. Cordelio Salas, Felicia Shimberry, and Matthew J. Palka. You guys, thank you so much for listening. We love you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Booby.
Booby.
Booby.